There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite.
Yeah. I once heard a man say, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great.
Okay, this is GK TV. We're here with another formidable person who's just come down to this event, but was inspired before this event because he's already been out in the community doing X amount of things. Tell the people what you do.
Hello everyone, my name is Emma Acko. I'm the founder and creative director of Carpe Diem event, which is a creative platform to raise awareness on conflict minerals from Congo, but also another platform to unify the black community and also raise awareness on the positivity, or well, the ways of we can think positively and come together as one basically. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this? Is this something where you just stumbled in upon it, or is it something where, you know, for many people there's an experience which occurred to them which made me say, you know what, I need to do something, I'm inspired.
Okay.
What was that?
Okay, well I maybe about 3-4 years ago now, I watched a documentary on BBC 3 called The World's Most Dangerous Place to Be a Woman, and it happens to be in Congo, and that's because of the minerals that go into our technology. And there's basically a horrible bloody genocide that's going on over there, and we are fueling it not only by our technology, which is the main driving force behind the conflict, but also from our taxes. Our taxes are going towards paying for the arms that are flooded into Congo. So I really want to do something about it, especially because we are consumers of the technology industry, which means we've got the money to actually put the whole thing to a halt. So we need to get together as one and help to not only change the practices of the technology industry, but also change the way we think on a social level about our connection to people in the Congo. And then that led me to thinking about Africa as a whole and different policies there, and getting together as one, unifying as black people. And for me personally, I would say the thing that we need to really get together is our money, and that's the main thing, and that's what I'm doing.
You're a spoken word.
I'm a singer.
You do a little piece, or you're a singer?
Yeah.
So you can't give us nothing right now?
I can give you a little something.
Come on, give us a little something.
Oh my gosh, you're really putting me in blast. Okay,
Something.
I'll do a little something. Yeah, it's a song I wrote for the community, really, basically. But yeah. It all starts in your mind. It all starts in your mind. It all starts. Learn to control it before someone else does control it. Learn to control it before someone else does control it. It all starts in your mind. It all starts. That's my little teaser.
And when you're ready to launch that, you know where you're going to launch it. Say the word for us. You say the word for us.
Okay, so Got Kush TV are going to be the one to launch my album, my EP.
Trust.
See it here.
This is how we get the exclusive. We don't mess around with JK TV. Look, if you don't get it yet, what's going on here, you need to get it. GK TV is the lick. This is what's going to be going. If you're not trending on this, you're some idiot. Forget World Star Hip Hop, forget Sky TV, forget all that nuts. Throw that out the window. We don't need that no more. But keep the internet. You're going to need it. And you might be with, I don't know who you're with, like BT World or whatever. Because we obviously have our own black internet stations and all that. We're going to be running all that stuff as well. We ain't going to be doing that, our black folk. Once we get our minds right, we're doing some mental projection, all that kind of stuff. So remember, GK TV is where it's at. Thank you very much, my good sister.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. We're here at the Hidden Colours International Rules of Racism with Tariq Nasheed. We've been supporting this event. This is GK TV. We're representing a few. I am the Project Minister from www.supremefemlive.com. Check it out. We're here with a very satisfied, I would believe, satisfied person who came down the show. How inspiring was this here for you?
Look, Tariq has always been an inspiration to me. You know what I mean? I've been following the guy for a good 3 years now. And from the minute go, I was someone who didn't grow up with a dad, so I see everything that he is pushing towards, almost like a fatherly figure towards me. You understand? So literally, I take on everything that he literally pushes out there. From black empowerment to simple socio-economics in general. You understand? That's literally been my thing, and I've been on that path now for the last 3 years. Yeah.
Okay. So as well as being inspired to him, how do you make this thing manifest in your life? Many people will come here today, have a nice time, dress up with a nice dinner, we watch a little film, a little bit talk, a little bit of entertainment. But what becomes the next level for people, and what's the next level for yourself when you come out of here? How do you make this apply to your life?
Well, this is the thing. It's about black empowerment. You understand? It's one thing taking everything on board. He's got hidden colours, he's got the lectures, but you now have to take it on board and now push it into your life. You understand? That's the thing. You know, are you going to be an employee? Are you going to be a consumer, or are you going to be somebody who is a producer? It's as simple as that. There is no choice. You're going to have to be one of the two. And literally, what he is telling you is to suddenly now become a producer. Find avenues into ways you can become a producer. Because if you're a consumer, eventually, white supremacy is going to consume you. That's how it is. You understand? That's the possibility. Okay. You can either sit there, be scared, and wait, and maybe a Darren Wilson will come and take you out, you understand? Or you can make something happen and push your people, you understand? So, recycling.
In regards to like what we've got here, we've got Push TV, okay? This is based on the same, it's all based on group economics and getting out to the people and getting people to start buying, spending. I mean, I've just said to many people when giving out the flyers, that's where your ITV, that's where your BBC One, keep the internet, that's where you're going to find us. But as a platform, how important do you think the media is in regards to us having our own black media, what pushes that kind of stuff? What does that play in regards to the message we've got here today?
Oh no, black media has always been something that is part of the construct. It's very, very simple. I mean, Dr. Claude Anderson, as he was speaking about, he calls it a 5-tier system. You understand? You start with your economics, you get to your politics, you then get to your judicial system. Your media is the 4th level. You understand? If you don't have your media, how do you get your ideals out to your people? You're going to have to. You see, the problem is we're so focused now on their media that unfortunately, you understand, anything that they want to feed us via propaganda or self-programming, it happens, you understand, you know?
With us today on the #1 conscious platform, Dr. Lez Henry, just given an excellent lecture at the Tariq Nasheed Hidden Colours International Rules of Racism. I must congratulate you.
Give thanks, bro. Give thanks.
Like the way that you delivered it. And what did you hope to achieve when you was putting it together? Did you achieve what you hoped to achieve, I should say, first of all?
The thing is with me, I'll solicit the opinions of the audience, because it's really funny. Even like when I DJ, I can never judge how I've done.
Okay.
You know, it's weird because you kind of just blank everything out and you kind of focusing on what you're doing. But what I really wanted to achieve here was twofold. One, I wanted to help, you know, Brother Marley and Sis Angie promote what they're doing for the Back to Black Empire about building institutions. And two, I just wanted to demonstrate to the brothers and sisters over here that we have the solutions here.
Okay.
And in many ways, you know, I give thanks to Brother Tariq and the fact that he's opened up that doorway for us in some ways. But what we have to understand is where we are in London, we are in a unique position, especially in London, in the UK, because we meet everybody.
Yes.
We meet everybody from everywhere. We meet all of the Africans from the diaspora who travel, we meet them here. We meet all the people from the Caribbean who travel, we meet them here. Brothers and sisters from Brazil, from Australia, from wherever. So we're in a unique position. So what I wanted to do, I just wanted to show people, watch out, we have a wealth of stuff here that is untapped. And people will come in and tap that stuff, you know, and it's happened through the music, it will happen through the lectures. And so for me, it's just to say, yes, respect to Brother Tariq, much love and respect to him, because he's doing what he needs to do in his yard, we need to do it in ours.
I totally agree with you. We were listening and we were saying, well, in essence and reality, there was no new jewels that was really dropped, you know, for those people who like to do the deep thing. But as you're saying, what we find here, especially in London with all the different diasporas, we find that our situations across the world are not too dissimilar.
That's right, that's right.
We tend to be on the ball right here in London. As much as we, as I say, we tend to underestimate people like yourself who's been teaching this for years. Myself, I've been teaching for years as well. We tend to downplay us, but somebody comes from abroad,
it's always, you know, this old biblical thing, you know, and it's one of the few things I take from the book, but the biblical thing about you can't be a prophet in your hometown.
Okay, yeah, no,
so
a prophet
that thing.
is not respected in his own
house. A prophet is not respected in his own
hometown or in his own house. I feel you there, my brother.
And so for me, you know, I kind of expect that. It was the same with the music. You know, remember, even with reggae music, they, like groups like Matumbi, used to have to white label their music and pretend they were imports to sell them in London. So I understand that, but I just think that Whereas maybe 20 years ago we could have had that excuse, well, we didn't really know, and the African Americans are better at promoting themselves, and rare. It's not the case now, because we've got the internet. We've got one of the best resources now that we can use to push our side. And for me, the crucial aspect of it is nearly every eminent black scholar from the States or the Caribbean has passed right through Yasser. You name them.
That's very well, yeah. Umar Johnson.
You name them. Yeah. No, I'm talking about even from older, from Garvey, from, you had people like Garvey, you had Kwame Nkrumah. You had loads of people passing right through here in the UK, because they know that, one, the British are some of the best documenters of history. Brother Tariq spoke about that. And two, they are certainly the best documenters of so-called our contributions to history. Okay. They'll mix them up and confuse them, but it doesn't mean it's not here. And we can tap that. We can tap that as a resource. And the other thing, that I would say that maybe we don't utilize is our knowledge of not just white supremacy, but how the system based on whiteness works here. That's why I was showing those. They look like little inane things.
Yeah.
What's the drinking age? What's this? But if you don't understand the fundamentals, and if you'll never grasp
the dots as you
absolutely.
I thought that was an excellent way of connecting and showing people how illogical, as you put it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wrote about it years ago, and I didn't call it. Then I used to call it the irrational rationale, and I wrote argument. I would go to lectures in front of so-called leading historians, socialists, anthropologists. I used to say, but your whole system that underpins it is illogical. Even down to the fact that look, let me tell you, I was reasoning with a white academic years ago. This is when Marimba Annie put out a book called Yorugu, 1994, This is supposed to be an African-centered book, or Afrocentric as they would call it in the States. I remember I was reasoning with this white academic once after, a couple of years later or something, just assuming he doesn't know anything about this kind of stuff. The boxer, when the man started reeling off book after book after book, and he was saying to me, yeah, well, I can tell by the way you're talking you've read Yorugu. And I'm like, but once you get into that world and you see the way they research and how rigorous they are, you understand that they will expose themselves to everything. You can put out a book, and you can sell your book online. You don't know who's buying your book. That's true. You may assume it's people in your community, or brothers and sisters, but oftentimes it's these academics or researchers, they're buying them so that they get their end right. And if they're the enemy, that's how we will remain in trouble. One of the disciplines I studied was anthropology. Okay. Most people think anthropology, study of ancient cultures, it used to do with, different human types or whatever. But the worst and most pernicious role of anthropologists was during the wars. Because what the government would do is they would say, okay, there's these people over there, we don't really understand their cosmology or their communities, because they may be what they call an acephalous society. Generally only found in Africa means you have no head. If you can't find the chief, you can't kill the people then. So you have to find out what they do. Send in the anthropologists, they study the group, they find out, they center their worldview on cattle, destroy the cattle. That's how they did, that's what they did. That's one of the unspoken aspects of what they did to American Indians. They studied them. Then they wiped out the buffalo and piled them up in front of them.
That point last week, we was doing a stop and search group, and we was explaining to the youths there that when they hear about slavery and they hear about John Hawkins in slavery, they think that John Hawkins just got on a ship and spent maybe a few months and that was. And I said no, I don't think you realise how this thing worked. When he went there for 20 odd years, and then came back to Europe and explained to the Queen of England
what she needs to do.
This is how you need to enslave. And I don't think that really sinks into our people's head.
Because you know what, sometimes we take this idea that the things are just, haphazard or coincidental, because one of the things what Europeans like to do is they'll say, they were sailing this way and they discovered that. Because then the whole rationale and reason behind it goes out the window. Don't get me wrong, because Christopher Columbus was lost. You know, we know this. But
El Negretto, the Moor, helped him a lot.
Yeah.
He was helped.
Exactly. But for me, the main point is what we have to do is we have to learn to separate what is deliberate and what is supposedly coincidental, if you believe in coincidence, because I don't. Because the fact for me is that when you go to the, like for instance, when you go to the British Museum, and why I showed that clip today about Terra Nullis or Terra Nulla, or whatever they want to call it, you go to the British Museum and they endorse that story about the Middle East being the cradle of civilization.
Yes.
But when I used to take youths there, I used to say to them, okay, here's the Assyrian stuff, 2000 something BC, 3000 something BC, if you're lucky. Then you go to where the ancient Egyptian stuff is, 4000 something BC.
Going on
so
to
then the youths have said,
BC,
and then the youths are saying to me, well, how can they say on that plaque that that influenced that and that came before?
I often say it's because there's a link between the Asian and the Caucasian and the Caucasian.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
want to.
I talk about all that in my whiteness book.
They want to place the link there to give them a place in the origins.
Of course they do.
Henceforth, why a lot of Europeans, especially a lot of English people, like to visit India, like to visit
Yeah, of course,
Bali.
because they know that there's no.
everywhere.
You know, I argue in my whiteness book. I say, where is the continent of Europe? Well, it's divided by the Ural Mountains in thingy. Oh, we've got to go. Yeah.
No, we'll use up every energy of the time. What I would say, you were talking about your book of whiteness. I could see your books were really well received.
Yeah, respect
a lot
for
of
that.
people were asking you to sign your books.
Yeah.
It shows that there is definitely a platform for us. What have you got planned for the future, very quickly, before we?
For me, at the moment, I'm just finishing off some little projects. But after April, May, I'm going to become active again. I'll be doing more of my courses with Black History Studies, and I'll be doing more of these public events. I just got some little things to wrap up. Yeah.
Excellent talking
Respect.
with you, Dr. Lez.
Give thanks
every
to
time. Dr. Lez Henry Newby on the game. Excellent.
God Kush TV.
The number
Believe
one
me, God
platform.
Kush TV is the number one. Lezlee Lyrix said that 100.
Alright, this is GKTV. We're going to be here with one of the promoters, one of the it's a family run business. So tell us,
Husband and wife team and my son.
tell us a bit more about this family and what inspired you to get this event off today.
Okay, they keep saying there's no unity with black people. It's all lies, and I just wanted to show everybody that black people know how to work together. And when we do get together, this is how powerful our work can be.
Okay, now, Tariq Nasheed, why did you start off with Tariq Nasheed in regards to this type of event? Out of the many speakers, what was the inspiration to say, Tariq, you need to come over and do this?
Because Hidden Colours is a powerful DVD with that has unearthed some information that a lot of us were unaware of. And once you've seen Hidden Colours 1, you have to watch 2 and then 3. And I was amazed that he hadn't been here, so it had to be done. So we like to do the impossible. What they like to say is, new things, something unique, and just wrap it up and develop, sort of present it in a different way.
And what is the future for your business? Back to Black?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the future for Back to Black? Because when I say this is a great start, so there's only one direction from here.
Onward, forwards, and upwards.
Okay. What's next? Anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, there is something coming up in the pipeline. We don't like to talk about it beforehand until we've got it secure. Okay. And I think it's something, only bigger and better things to come. As I always like to say, anything we're doing is always bigger and better things. With Back to Black, have a shop in Brixton Village. You can get value for money. Positive black images. As you can see, the umbrellas that were as part of the presentation is a demonstration of it's an umbrella of the love that we have in Brixton for in London, in the UK, as black people, and that we are unified, and that is what the umbrella represents. Why I did the umbrellas.
Okay. I mean, that's a point. I know you need to pack up now. You got to get everyone out of the building and everything. Is there any final last words, very quickly, you'd like to say?
Let's go back to being black, always and forever.
feeling that. This is JKTV. We're signing off. The name of our most angelic host. We like to say Namaste. We're out. Namaste.
All these mountains we've been climbing.
Was from Congo, but also another platform to unify the black community and also raise awareness on the positivity, or well, the ways of we can think positively and come together as one, basically. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this? Is this something where you just stumbled in upon it, or is it something where, you know, for many people there's an experience which occurred to them which made me say, you know what, I need to do something. I'm inspired.
Okay.
What was that?
Okay, well I maybe about 3-4 years ago now, I watched a documentary on BBC 3 called The World's Most Dangerous Place to Be a Woman, and it happens to be in Congo, and that's because of the minerals that go into our technology. And there's basically a horrible bloody genocide that's going on over there, and we are fueling it not only by our technology, which is the main key.
Trust.
See it here.
This is how we get the exclusive. We don't mess around with JKTV. Look, if you don't get it yet, what's going on over it, you need to get it. GKTV is the lick. This is what's going to be going. If you're not trending on this, you're some idiot. Forget World Star Hip Hop, forget Sky TV, forget all that nuts, throw that out the window. We don't need that no more. But keep the internet, you're going to need it. And you might be with, I don't know who you're with, like BT World or whatever, because we obviously we have our own black internet stations and all that. We're going to be running all that stuff as well. We're even going to be doing that, our black folk, once we get our minds right, we're doing some mental projection, all that kind of stuff. So remember, GKTV is where it's at. Thank you very much, my good sister.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. We're here at the Hidden Colours International Rules of Racism with Tariq Nasheed. We've been supporting this event. This is JKTV. We're representing a few
driving force behind the conflict, but also from our taxes. Our taxes are going towards paying for the arms that are flooded into Congo. So I really want to do something about it, especially because we are consumers of the technology industry, which means we've got the money to actually put the whole thing to a halt. So we need to get together as one and help to not only change the practices of the technology industry, but also change the way we think on a social level about our connection to people in the Congo. And then that led me to thinking about Africa as a whole and different policies there, and getting together as one, unifying as black people. And for me personally, I would say the thing that we need to really get together is our money, and that's the main thing, and that's what I'm doing.
Are you a spoken word?
I'm a singer.
You do a little piece, or you're a singer?
Yeah.
So you can't give us nothing right now?
I can give you a little something.
Come on, give us a little something.
Oh my gosh, you're really putting me in blast. Okay,
something.
I'll do a little something. Yeah, it's a song I wrote for the community, really, basically. But yeah, it all starts in your mind. It all starts. It all starts in your mind. It all starts. Learn to control it before someone else does control it. Learn to control it before someone else does control it. It all starts in your mind. It all starts. That's my little teaser. And
when you're ready to launch that, you know where you're going to launch it. Say the word for us. You say the word for us.
Okay, so Got Kush TV are going to be the one to launch my album, my EP.
There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite.
Yeah. I once heard a man say, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great.
Okay, this is GKTV. We're here with another formidable person who's just come down to this event, but was inspired before this event because he's already been out in the community doing X amount of things. Tell the people what you do.
Hello everyone, my name is Emma Acko. I'm the founder and creative director of Carpe Diem Events, which is a creative platform to raise awareness on conflict